Hey everyone, I welcome you all for the last module, that is cryptography. So in this module, we'll learn about the concepts, algorithms, tools, public key infrastructure, email encryption, disk encryption, difference between cryptanalysis method and cryptography attack, and the countermeasures for this.
If you enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel.
If I talk about the algorithm, first of all, let's talk about cipher. So what is cipher? CIPHERS. What is cipher? So ciphers are the algorithms used to encrypt or decrypt the data. Algorithms. So there are different type of ciphers. We have modern cipher. So in the modern cipher, we have the based on key type use. So it's based on type of key, that is private key and public key. Then based on the type of input, so block cipher and stream cipher. Now we have classic cipher. This is the modern cipher. Then we have classical ciphers. So that we have substitution cipher and transposition cipher. So we'll learn about everything one by one. So let's understand what is AES and DES. So starting with DES, that is data encryption standard. So the DES, data encryption standard, is designed to encipher and decipher code, that is to encode and decode the block of code and the data consisting of 64 bits under the control of 56-bit key. 64 bits block and 56-bit key. And DES is a archetypal block cipher algorithm that takes a fixed length string of plain text bit and transform it into ciphertext bit string of same length. And then we have AES. Advanced Encryption Standard. So AES is a symmetric key algorithm used by US government agency to secure sensitive but unclassified material. So AES is an iterated block cipher that work repeating the same operation multiple times. So it has 128-bit block size with key size of 128, 192 and 256 bit key for AES 128, 192 or AES 256. So there are different AES 128. So for 128, 128-bit key will use for 192 AES 192 key will use, and for like 256 AES the 256-bit key will use. Then there is, so we clear about the AES and DES. Then there is RC4, RC5, and RC6 algorithm. So RC4 is a variable key size symmetric key cipher, which is byte oriented operations, and it is based on the use of random permutations. RC5, it is uh, parameterized algorithm with a variable block size, variable key size, and variable number of round. So the keys of 128-bit and one RC5. And in RC6, it is a symmetric key block cipher derived from RC5 with two additional features, that is integer multiplication and 4-bit working registries. Now let's talk about two fish and three fish. So two fish uses block size of 128-bit and key size of 256-bit key. It works fast for CPU or hardware, and it also flexible with network-based applications. And enable various levels of performance trade-off parameters of encryption speed, hardware gate count, and memory uses. Then we have three fish. So a three fish is large tuckable symmetric key block cipher in which a block and key size are equal to 56 block and key size of 256, 512 and 20, 1024. So it involves just three operation: addition, rotation, XOR. Then the key, the like block size here, as I have told, that is of 256, 512 and 1024. It involved 72, 72 and 80 rounds of computations respectively. Now we'll talk about Serpent and T. So Serpent, it uses 128-bit symmetric block cipher with 128, 192 and 256-bit key size. It involved 32 operating rounds on 432-bit operating words blocks using 8 variable S boxes. And about the T, so it is known as tiny encryption algorithm, the full form of T, tiny encryption algorithm. So it is a Fistel cipher. It uses 64 rounds. Here 32 rounds. So it uses 128-bit key operating on 64-bit blocks. That is about Serpent and T. Now one more important algorithm is the cast 128. So the cast 128 or cast is a symmetric key block cipher. It has 12 to 16 round Fistel network, 12 or 16 round Fistel network with 64-bit block size. This whole module is of theoretical part, so have patience while learning. And it uses key size varying from 40 to 128 bits in 8 increments. And the round function consists of three alternative types of performance: addition, subtraction, and XOR operation at different stages. Now we'll learn about the ghost block cipher. Ghost block cipher. So the ghost block cipher, also known as magma, is a symmetric key block cipher. It has 32-bit or 32 round Fistel network, 32 round Fistel network, working on 64-bit block and with 256 bit key length. Then we have Camellia. So Camellia is a symmetric key block cipher with either 18 rounds or 24 rounds. It is a Fistel cipher working with 128-bit block and has key sizes of 128, 192 and 256 bit. It uses a part or as a TLS. So Camellia, let me write it more clearly. CAMELLIA. It is used in TLS. It is a it is used as a part of TLS, Transport Layer Security Protocol. Now you already are familiar with the digital signature. So digital signature is a computer using a set of rules. It's computed using a set of rules and set of parameters such as the identity of signatures and integrity of the data that can be verified. So you can make those via the Adobe. Then we have RSA. So RSA is Rives Shamir Edelman, the full form of RSA. This is the algorithm. Rives Shamir Edelman. So it is a public key crypto system for internet encryption and authentication. Internet encryption and authentication. It is modular arithmetic and elementary number theories to perform computation using two large prime numbers. So then we have the Diffie-Hellman. Diffie-Hellman. So Diffie-Hellman is a cryptographic protocol that allows two parties to establish a shared key. Two parties to establish a shared key over an insecure channel. It does not provide any authentication for the key exchange and it is vulnerable for many cryptography attacks. Vulnerable to attack. Then at the last algorithm, that one of the last algorithms which are major part is the YAK. The YAK is a public key based authentication key exchange protocol. Public key based authenticated key exchange protocol, and the authentication of YARK is based on the public key pairs that require public key infrastructure to distribute authentic public keys. So those are the algorithms. Then we have the one-way hash function. So hash function calculate a unique fixed size bit string represented called a message digest of any arbitrary block of information. And then we have MD5, that is message digest 5. So MD5 and MD6. So MD5 algorithms takes a message of arbitrary length as an input and then output a 128-bit fingerprint or message digest of input. And MD5 is not collision resistance. Use of largest algorithms, latest algorithms such as MD6, SHA-2, SHA-3 is recommended. And MD6 uses Macley tree-like structure to allow for immense parallel computation of hashes for very long input. So MD5 and MD6 is one of the best, we can say, cryptography method for hashing. Then we have the popular hashing method, that is SHA. So SHA is secure hashing algorithm. Secure hashing algorithm. So the algorithm generate a cryptographically secure one-way hash. It was published by the National Institute of Standards and Technology as a US federal information processing standard. And you can have the different type of SHA like SHA-1, SHA-2, SHA-3, SHA-256, SHA-512. So those are the like different methods and mechanisms for the SHA. And that is about the algorithm. I hope you all understand the different kinds of algorithms. If not, you can like get back and make notes of that. So yeah, those are the important mechanisms. So the last I will talk about the application of cryptography in blockchain. So blockchain is also referred as distributed ledger technology, DLT. Blockchain. So it is used to record and store the history of transaction in form of blocks. So for multiple transactions, multiple blocks are created, which are linked together to form a blockchain. So this like cryptography mechanisms are used to like make it more secure. So that is it for algorithms. Next up, we will talk about cryptography tools. So now, if I talk about tools for cryptography, so there is the MD5 and MD6 hash calculator to calculate the hash. Then you can use BC text encoder. So it encrypt confidential data in your message and use strong symmetric key and public key algorithm. That is about the tools. And one of the like example that I want to show you is, let me show you one of the example. Base 64 encode. So base 64 is used in many applications and it is easy to decode because like let's say here I'm writing PyNet labs. Okay. So write it again, PyNet PyNet labs encode it. So it is encoded in this form, and if I copy over here and go to decoder and paste it, it doesn't require any key to like decode it. So you can see the plain text over here, and this is the base 64 encode and decode. So base 64 is used in many web application and you can find it and you can decode it easily and you can read the information. So how to like get it and how to see if it's a base 64 or not. So usually the base 64 has this equal to mark at the end and doesn't have any plus symbol or any different looking symbols in the text file that in the code. So by this you can identify the base 64. Okay, this is a separate video for public key infrastructure. It's a small topic but I need to make it a separate video because it is used in every time. The terminology PKI or public key infrastructure. So the PKI is a set of hardware, software, people, policies, and procedures required to create, manage, distribute, use, stores, and revoke digital certificate. Require to revoke digital certificate. So the components of PKI is certificate management system, digital certificates, we have validation authority or VA, certificate authority or CA. Then we have end user and registration authority, RA. So the certificate management system, it generates, distributes, stores and verifies certificates. Digital certificates establish people's credentials in online transactions. The validation authority, it stores certificate with their public key. The CA, certificate authority, is issues and verify digital certificate. End user, the request, manage and uses a certificate. And registration authority, it acts as a verifier for certificate authority. So you can get the certificate authorities by DigiCert, Komodo, GoDaddy, and IdenTrust. So they are the authorities which provide the PKI. Now, what is signed certificate versus self-signed certificate? CA versus signed certificate is CA version. Signed cert versus self-signed cert. So the signed cert, it generated a certificate from trustworthy CA, certificate authority, and the data certificate contain, right now I'm talking about the signed certificate. So the data certificate contain name of the certificate holder, serial number, expiration date, a copy of certificate holder public key, and a digital certificate of the CA. So user sign the document using the digital certificate and send it to the receiver, and VA will verify the validity of certificate. Whereas self-signed certificate, it is created by the person using the Adobe Reader or Java key tool, Apple keychain. So the certificate contain name of the user, user public key, signed document, self-signed certificate. The user can verify the certificate by inquiring the user with the user, and user verify the certificate to the receiver. That is about the public key infrastructure. So next up, we'll talk about the types of email and disk encryptions.
If you enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel.
So if I talk about the email encryptions, so in email encryption, digital certificates or digital signatures are used. Digital signature. So digital signature uses asymmetric cryptography to simulate the security properties of a signature in digital rather than the written form. And a digital signature may be further protected by encrypting the signed email for confidentiality. Then they use the SSL, the secure socket layer. So SSL is an application layer protocol developed by Netscape for managing the security of message transmission on the internet. It uses the RSA asymmetric encryption to encrypt the data transferred over the SSL connections. It uses a TLS, transport layer security. So TLS is a protocol established to establish a secure connection between a client and a server to ensure the privacy and integrity of information during transmissions. It uses the RSA algorithm with the 1024 and 2048 bit strength. So TLS or transport layer security handshake protocol. It allows the client and server to authenticate each other, select an encryption algorithm, and exchange a symmetric key prior to data and exchange. The TLS record protocol, it provides secured connection with an encryption method such as DES. So cryptography toolkits, you can use OpenSSL. Now we'll talk about PGP and GPG. So PGP, that is pretty good privacy. So PGP protocol, it used to encrypt and decrypt data that provide authentication and cryptographic privacy. It often used for data compression, digital signing, encryption and decryption of messages, email, file, directories, and to enhance the privacy of email communication. It combines the best features of both conventional and public key cryptography and is therefore known as hybrid crypto system. The GPG, that is GNU Privacy Guard. So the GPG is a software replacement of PGP and free implementation of Open PGP standard, and GPG is also called hybrid encryption software and is uses both symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography and support the SMIME and secure socket layer and a secure shell. Now we'll learn the term VOT, that is Web of Trust. So VOT or WOT, that is Web of Trust, is a trust model for of PGP, Open PGP, and GNU PG system. So everyone in the network is certificate authority. Everyone is certificate authority, that is CA, and signed for other trusted entities. So WOT is a chain of network in which individual intermediately validate each other's certificate using their signature. So every user in the network has the ring of public key to encrypt the data, and they introduce many other users whom they trust. So that is about the email encryption. So email encryption tool, you can use rmail. So rmail is an email security tool that provide open tracking, delivery proof, email encryption, electronic signatures, large file transfer functionality, etc. That is about the email encryption. Now we'll talk about the disk encryption. So of course, we are here seeing about the confidentiality encryptions and protection, the disk encryption. So data should be confidential. That encryption, it works in the similar way as text messages encryption and protect data even when the OS is not active. So people use a tool that is VeraCrypt for disk encryption. VeraCrypt. So VeraCrypt is software for establishing and maintaining on-the-fly encrypted volume. In on-the-fly encryption, data are automatically encrypted immediately before saving and decrypted immediately after loading without any user intervention. Or you can go with ROHS disk encryption. So ROHS is a disk encryption that allows users to create hidden encrypted partitions on a computer USB flash drive or cloud storage service such as Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. In Windows, we have used the BitLocker also, that is also a disk encryption tool. And for Linux or Linux, the tool is Script Setup. CRYPT setup. So it is a utility used to conventionally set up a disk encryption based on DMC crypt kernel module. For macOS, people use File Vault 2. That is it for email and disk encryption. Okay, so if I talk about like different cryptanalysis method and cryptographic attack, so the crypt analysis method, like linear, wait, let me write it over here. We're talking about crypt analysis method, starting with linear cryptanalysis. So in the linear cryptanalysis, it is commonly used in block cipher. It is also known as plain text attack, and use linear approximation to describe the behavior of block cipher, and it is given sufficient pair of plain text and corresponding ciphertext bits of information about key can be obtained. Then we have the integral. So in the integral cryptanalysis, the attack is useful against block cipher based on substitution, permutations, network, and extension of different cryptanalysis. Integral analysis for block size B hold the bk bits constants and run over the k through all 2k possibilities. So those are the formulas. Then we have differential crypt analysis and quantum. So quantum cryptanalysis is the process of cracking cryptographic algorithm using a quantum computer, and differential cryptanalysis is a form of cryptanalysis applicable to symmetric key algorithms. So what are the like code breaking methodologies? So one can measure the strength of encryption algorithm using various code breaking techniques such as brute force, frequency analysis, trickery and deletion, and one-time pad. So if I talk about the brute force, so I think so you all know what is brute force. So cryptographic keys are discovered by trying every possible combination. Then frequency analysis, so it's the study of frequency of letter of group of letters in ciphertext. Trickery and deletion, it involves the use of social engineering technique to extract cryptographic key. And one-time pad is contain many non-repeating group of letter or number key which are chosen randomly. So there are different kind of cryptography attacks, ciphertext only attack, related key attack, dictionary attack. The dictionary attack, we make a word files of different keys and we try to attack. Then there's the birthday attack I want to talk about. This is not the birthday attack that you will receive on your birthday, but this is attack. It is the name used to refer the class of brute force attack against cryptography hashes that make the brute forcing easier. So the birthday paradox, the probability, let me write it, brute force. Okay. So the birthday paradox, the probability that two or more people in a group of 23 share the same birthday is greater than 0.5. So by this example, we can like say, so like birthday paradox, let's say how many people do you need to have a high likelihood. So let's say two people will share the same birthday. There are 365 days in a year, so you might think at least half of that, that is 128 people, but it is actually 23. The basic idea is follow how many people would you like to need have a room, have a strong likelihood, and two would have the same birthday. So obviously, you'll put 367 people in a room. At least two of them must have the same birthday because there are only 365 days in a year plus one more in a leap year. The paradox is not asking how many people you need guarantee a match, just how many people you need to have a strong probability. So even with 23 people in a group, you might find a 50% chances that two will have the same birthday. Like this, the two will have the same key. So that is the probability that will take. So there is a formula for this. If you want, I can write over here. So that is like for the here for the counting, you go with 364 upon 365. Probability is 0.5%. So this is how we have to like find the probability of it. And here is also a side channel attack. So we have talked about the birthday attack. Now let's talk about side channel attack. So sidechain attack is a physical attack performed on cryptographic device to gain sensitive information. And cryptography is generally part of hardware or software that run on physical devices such as semiconductor. These physical devices are affected by the various environmental factors including power consumption, electromagnetic fields, light emissions, timing and delay, and sounds. So in sidechain attack, attacker can monitor these channels, environment factors, and try to acquire the information useful for cryptanalysis. Then there is the DUHK attack. Don't use hard-coded keys. Don't use hard-coded key is a cryptography vulnerability that allow an attacker to obtain encryption key used to secure VPNs and web sessions. So this attack mainly affects any hardware, software that is using ANSI X919.31 randomly number generated RNG. So both these factors, like about the keys and all, are the key issues of DUHK attack. So any attacker could combine A and SIX 9.31 with the hard-coded seed key to decrypt the encrypted data sent or received by the devices. Then there is a rainbow table attack. So rainbow table attack is a type of cryptography attack where an attacker uses a rainbow table to reverse cryptography hash functions. The rainbow table is a pre-computed table and contains the word list, similar to directory files and directly files and brute force list, and the hash values. So it will use a cryptanalytic time memory trade-off techniques to crack the cryptography, which require less time than some other technique. So those are the like cryptanalysis and all. Now we have the drone attack. So drone attack is a cross protocol weakness that can communicate and initiate an attack on server that suppose recent SSL version 3 TLS protocol suite. So it will affect cryptography protocol like HTTPS and cryptography services that depend on SSL and TLS. So a drone attack makes attacker decrypt the latest TLS connection between the victim client and the server by launching malicious SSL version 2 probes using the same private key. So attacker perform a drone attack as a part of online man-in-the-middle attack, breaking the encrypted key and sniffing sensitive information such as password and bank account details. So the cryptanalysis tool, you can use, the name of tool is CRYP Crypt Tool. So Crypt Tool is a e-learning program in the area of cryptography and cryptanalysis. It consists of e-learning softwares, or you can go with like different tools such as CryptoSense. So if you want to go with MD5 decryption tool, there are MD5 decoders, MD5 hashing, MD5 decryptor, different type of crackers and coders you can find online. How to defend against the cryptographic attack? So access to the cryptographic key should be given to the application or user directly. Intrusion detection system should be deployed. So right now I'm talking about the countermeasures. IDS should be deployed to monitor exchanging and access of key. Key should not be presented inside the source code or binary. For certificate signing, transfer of private key should not be allowed. Message authentication must be implemented for encryption of symmetric key protocol. In case of hash algorithm, key size of 168 or 256 bit should be considered. And avoid encryption key relationship being simple, that is, each encrypted key should be created from KDF. Now, key stretching. So key stretching refers to the process of strengthening a key that might be slightly too weak, usually by make it longer. So longer key takes times to decrypt. So that is it, and we complete our whole module, our whole syllabus for CEH and the ethical hacking. So I hope you all enjoy the learning time and the whole session that we have gone through. Farewell to you all and hope you all have a great future. For any contact and any query, you can contact PyNet Labs. Thank you for being a part of our system and our codes. Hope to see you again. Take care.